So some of you have been asking, what is this all about, this court case between Sinn Féin taking on the government down in the forecourts? Well, this is about, really essentially, it's a government trying to pull a stroke. It's jobs for the boys. It's them trying to make sure that some of theirs, part of this grubby deal between Féin and Michael Lowry's group, that they have more job for the boys, more salary, more expenses, more people that can call themselves ministers. And in our view, that is completely unconstitutional. And remember, this doesn't come without a cost to you and people who are watching this. The cost of these junior ministers now is €5 million per year. Never in the history of the state have we had more junior ministers than we have now. The government's increasing it to 23. A number of years ago it was 15. Now we have 4 super junior ministers. They're ministers that the government says are allowed to participate in cabinet and all of the things that come with cabinet. But what also comes with that is an additional salary on top of their TD salary, their junior minister's salary. And that's one of the first pieces of legislation that this government is going to introduce, a piece of legislation to allow them to increase the number of super junior ministers and the salary that goes with it. So we're calling them out on this here. This is a stroke. This is one stroke far too far. And it's not acceptable. In our view, it is unconstitutional. Why do we say that? Well, the Constitution is quite clear. You can only have 15 members at Cabinet at a maximum. It says between 7 and 15. What Féin, including Michael Lowry, have negotiated is to try and find a way around that. Previous governments have done the same. They started by introducing 1 super junior minister, then it was 2. In the last Dáil term, it was 3 super junior ministers, and now, as part of this grubby deal, it is 4 super junior ministers, coming with all of the mercs and perks that come with it, the additional salary, and we're calling it out on behalf of the Irish people. Listen, Mary Lou was very clear in relation to our new team. We're going to go toe-to-toe with this government. We're going to take them on in their failures on housing and health and cost of living and other issues that are really, really important. But we're also going to stand up and face this government down when they're trying to pull a stroke, and that is exactly what this is. When they're using taxpayers' money for mercs and perks for their own people to keep them sweet, then it is going to be called out. That's why we went to the court. That's why Daly has taken this government to the High Court. And today they were granted leave for this case to go ahead. So what does that mean? It means it's an important step, because if this case was kind of frivolous, if it had no basis, the judge would just throw it out and say, look, go home with you. But that's not what happened. The judge actually recognised the urgency of this case. It's going to be back in court now next Tuesday, and papers are going to be served now on the government. This is a really, really important step. In our view, what the government are doing is a stroke. What the government are doing is very clear. As I said, it's jobs for the boys. But more importantly, it's unconstitutional in our view, and it's time for the courts to decide.